Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Americans learning from Canada. All of this talk from Trump about making Canada the 51st state may actually turn out to have some benefits. Apparently, it has led to some very important realizations. Let me read this message and we'll go from there. Hey, Belle, I have a question. I've been watching an interaction on Facebook, and there's a lot of economics questions in it. I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. It started by someone saying that Canada would be a bad state because it has the same population as California, but half the GDP, which would make it a poor state, one of our poorest. This led to people asking how they can have health care and all of the social safety nets if they're so poor. And somebody was like, exactly. Can you help me out with this? Absolutely. I got you. First, let's check the numbers. Canada's population is about 40 million. California's is about 39 million. So sure, that's close enough to the same for a Facebook argument. Canada's GDP is 2.1 trillion and change. California's is 3.9 trillion. Again, not exactly twice, but close enough for Facebook. Remember, GDP, gross domestic product, is the final value of all the goods and services produced in a geographic region in a year. It's shorthand for how big the economy is. A better way to do this is just using something called per capita GDP. That just divides the GDP up among the population. It makes the numbers easier to follow. Canada's is about $53,300. California is about $105,000. Yes, Canada would be one of the poorest states in the Union. Only Mississippi would be below it. So, all of the math and general tone checks out. If you want to compare it to the U.S. as a whole, the per capita GDP is $81,600. Canada's again is $53,300. So, why do Canadians have health care and 1,000 other social benefits Americans don't have? Why are Canadians happier? Those are really good questions. It's almost like every time you were told the U.S. couldn't afford it, what they really meant was that the U.S. had other priorities than its people. You'll have some people say that Canadians pay more in taxes, and this is already a number-heavy episode. But if you look at the per capita tax burdens, it really isn't too far apart, especially if you were also to look at the per capita healthcare expenses paid by people. It gets really weird when you look at U.S. government per capita spending on healthcare and compare it to Canada's. Even with a per capita GDP similar to Mississippi, Canadians certainly seem to get far better standard of living. The short version is that you are not a priority for the U.S. government. You can argue about why, but the plain numbers of it say the priority of the U.S. government is not you. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.